let's jump to the story we have from timcast.com. More than 1 million voters, 1 million, leave Democrats and switch to GOP. Democrats urge Biden to change course to avoid being demolished in the midterms. Okay. With 134 days until the midterm elections, no outcome is guaranteed, but the new data is a fresh warning to Democrats. Now, many people are arguing that this is Democrats joining the GOP to sabotage the primaries. Perhaps. I think that's probably a tiny fraction of it. I think people don't think like that. The average person wakes up, they go to their job at the bodega or at the mall or the restaurant, or they're a carpenter or tradesman, and they're not sitting there thinking like, how can I sabotage the rival political party? They're just like, why is my gas so expensive?
Right.
I'm voting Republican this time. And that's it. What do you think? Why do you think people are quitting the party?
I think, driving up here, I was thinking about Youngkin and what happened with him in Virginia. And I think people, that vote transcended politics. I think parents through COVID had seen for the first time the education system, the disarray of that, the introduction of CRT to young kids, and sex ed to 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and they were just done, and their values just had it. So I think you can only drink so much Coca-Cola before you get you just past it and over it. I mean, I was woke about 7 years ago, and you have to break through beyond that pre-existing belief system, and you do when you finally see enough of it, and you go, this is nonsense. I'm being fed propaganda, not news, and this ideological extremism, postmodern progressive, whatever you want to call it, this intersectionality is so out there that, I said before, I didn't leave the left left me. And where did it leave me? In kind of limbo, going, well, am I, because I come from England, we don't have to affiliate. We don't have to, I'm not a registered anything in England. But in America, it's, it's obviously a very different system. And I just think people have had it. They've just had enough.
No, go on.
No, please.
I was going to say, it's funny that, Elon Musk posted that meme of the left moving further and further left.
And that was Colin Wright's meme, by the way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colin.
I've said this. You've said it. Elon Musk is saying it. I just don't understand. At what point will the Democrats, will the liberals on the left realize there is a recurring pattern here where a whole bunch of people are like, the left is leaving me behind, and they're like, so what? Okay. Seamus is exactly where he's always been as a conservative.
Pretty much. I've moved a bit over the years on different things. I've actually probably, yeah. I mean, I used to be more libertarian, but yeah, pretty much.
Now, the point is,
socially for sure.
If with that Colin Wright meme posted by Elon, if we as like former left liberals are now being left behind, politically we are closer to conservatives than the modern left. What do they think is going to happen in terms of the vote? They'll cease to exist. They're lopping themselves off from political discourse.
I think what we're seeing here, and it's interesting that you mentioned Youngkin and those parents, because I think what they've done, possibly without realizing it, or maybe without caring about it, is they've turned parents, just writ large, they've turned parents into a voting bloc. And I don't think they've realized how unbelievably damaging this is going to be to them.
It's insane.
Because they've done it, and they've turned them all against them, and they've told them, you're terrorists, go away, we don't want to hear what you have to say. We have your kids now.
Well, we see as well, I think, from the alphabet, the identity politics eventually devours itself. And that's what we're seeing with the LGBTQ, it goes on and on and on, and they're fighting amongst themselves. And it's that, I don't know, the liberal elites, though, they're just going to keep living in their ivory towers and making money and pretending and purporting to be fighting for, the working man and disimpoverished neighborhoods. And when really it's quite the opposite that's going on. That's what I see. We live in the upside downs with a lot of moral hypocrisy seems to be rife at the moment.
There's Bill Kristol, right? He's a neocon. And he tweeted out something about how the Supreme Court is extreme or radicalized for overturning Roe v. Wade, when he actually wrote something like 25 years ago, an article saying Roe must go. So how is it that the neocons of 8 years ago all of a sudden are just agreeing with Democrats? Here's an example. The Lincoln Project. We are going to restore the party of Lincoln from, after Donald Trump. Donald Trump loses and they go, we're basically Democrats. We're just here to rag on Republicans. Come on. So these people who claim to be Republicans, claim to support these values, are now all of a sudden supporting Democratic policy and values. Like Jennifer Rubin's a great example. Conservative writer. And all of a sudden she's like, yay, Stacey Abrams, yay, Democrats. And it's like, do you have principles or are you just grifting?
Realistically, Democrat and Republican are just jackets. Anyone, just because you're wearing a coat with a name on it, a word on it, doesn't mean that it's going to make you think a different way. Doesn't matter what you call yourself.
But
those
they do-
people are those people.
They are thinking a different way.
Bill Kristol
These-
was always looking for. I mean, he was a proponent of the war in Iraq. He loved
Right.
the invasion and
And
conquest.
now Democrats have they have a higher approval rating for George W. Bush than Republicans do for some reason. But you have my point is, these people are exposing themselves as never having actually believed in anything. Like, oh, Roe is bad. It's like, bro, you wrote the article on why Roe must go, and now all of a sudden you're saying it's bad. Yeah, it's because you didn't like Trump, you didn't want to be a part of that, so you joined the Democrats. That's it. Now your ideology was always immaterial, irrelevant. You were just claiming to support things for the sake of making money. That's it. When you have that, you have the Democrats looking to young people and saying, we got to get their vote. What do we do? And they say, well, these people are in favor of a lot of really weird things, like they're castrating kids. And the Democrats are like, will we get the vote? And they're like, yeah, but you're probably going to lose all the rest of them. They're like, let's go for it. Now you have Loudoun County parents electing Youngkin because they're like, I'm out. Whatever this is nuts. I don't want to be involved in it. I think people are switching parties for that reason. And I think the narrative of it's to sabotage Republicans is nonsense. I think some do, but I think it's a minority, tiny fraction.